Hey guys, Scott Johnson with Pitt Home Buyers here. We have a really solid article, and I wanted to kind of go ahead and talk to you guys about it, cover a little bit of it as well. But feel free to read after you watch the video and enjoy it because it's got some really good information, especially since it is springtime, right? When do people want to move and buy a new house or even sell their current one? Springtime or any time of the year where there's a fair climate is going to be a real home run. So now, if you're thinking about possibly selling your property, okay, one of the reasons may be needing more space. Well, there's a lot of that. Luckily, we're in a rural area here in Greenville, North Carolina, so there is a decent amount of space that goes along with it. Now, the space could be you just want more land, maybe an acre, 2 acres of land where you can, do whatever you like to. Have bonfires outside of the city limits or shoot your guns. That's me, right? Or anything like that. Or even just have a backyard for the kids to run and play in. That can be a really big motivator when it comes to selling your property or the house you're currently in. The next one will be just an empty nest. Baby boomers. Now people are, the kids are starting to go if they're not already out on their own. So, unless they're millennials like me, because a lot of millennials are moving back in with their parents and that sort of thing. But if your nest is empty, that's another great reason to go ahead and look at selling your property. Could be to downsize. It could just be to get into a quieter area, especially if you're nearing retirement. Also, the community changing could be a big portion as well. Right now, we have the 10th Street extension that's going through, connected 264 to 10th Street. We've got a lot of building that's going on in Winterville, North Carolina. So there's a lot of changes that are happening in the area. Some of them will be for the good. Some of them will be for the worse. We really can't tell because I don't have a crystal ball yet, right? But, the community changes, and, it may be to the point where the neighborhood you're in is turning into more of a family-oriented community, and you guys are looking to kind of get into a quieter area. Maybe, like I said, it goes back to the land, having your own space, right? Another reason is because you just can't stand the weather. I totally get it. The weather in North Carolina, it can be... I don't know. I personally like it, but maybe you're in a different state. Maybe you're in, Wisconsin, Illinois, places like that. And the weather, I moved from Illinois back in 1996. My dad actually got a job at Overton's, which is now Camping World, which I guess is now closing down. I don't know. But the weather was I was really happy when we moved down here because the weather is so much better. It's like beautiful, right? But some people don't like the mugginess. Maybe they have asthma, respiratory issues, things like that. Totally a good reason to kind of move away. Also, hurricanes. Every area has their thing, and hurricanes are kind of our thing, which, flooding as well. But maybe that's just something that just turns people off. Totally cool. Now would be a great time to sell your home, get into an area that you prefer to live in. And capital gains. Capital gains, right now, the interest rates are rock bottom now. Now they're actually looking into going negative coming up here, right? Not for the people buying the houses, but just the central banks in general are at negative interest rates, which means that you're going to be able to get a better rate on, let's say, a property if you want to go buy one. So cashing out your capital gains, which means the equity you've built in that house, selling that property to get that equity, maybe roll it into another house, maybe use it for investment, anything like that. It's a great reason to go ahead and sell your property, especially if it's mixed with the other reasons above. Heading into retirement or thinking about retiring. Let's go ahead and cash out those capital gains that we can get from our property, or cash out our equity by selling the home and roll that into retirement. Get some income producing assets that are going to provide you income through retirement. Also, are you spending more time? You are spending more time. Oh, I had to read the last one. Another one is spending more time commuting than with your family. This is a really big one too, because a lot of people right now are commuting. I'm talking like 2-hour commutes, hour and a half commutes, going back and forth to Raleigh or any of the other areas here in the East. And it takes a lot of time away from your family, especially if you're working 5 days a week, driving 2 hours there, driving 2 hours back. By the time you get home, you have to sleep. And by the time you wake up, you got to be heading out to work. So, moving to an area that's going to be closer is going to be, would be a lot better for you. So that's another great reason to sell your house. And I think the best, ultimately, if you really look at it, all of these things kind of mix together. So if you are looking at selling your property, it's really important that you understand your options, because there's a lot more options, especially in the current market, than you had before. So you could look at getting out of the property quickly, or you can look at maximizing your capital gains, right? And taking the longer route, but making sure you're able to lock in, or lock in that equity. So whatever you guys are looking to do, I know everything will work out just fine for you. If you do need anything or have any questions, you would like a cash offer on your house, you prefer that the house provided income for you instead of just kind of cashing it out, that's something that it can do as well, and we can explain that to you. But yeah, just give us a call if you need anything, and I hope that helps. Thanks so much.